So right now I just started making the lasagna that everybody keep asking me to send in the recipe. Recipe is kind of hard because this is my mother's recipe and it's something that she just perfected over the years. So what I'm doing right now, I'm chopping up mushrooms. I bought a big 20 ounce from BJ's. Basically this is a 20 ounce from BJ's. And I've set aside some chopped spinach that I purchased from Publix. Just the Publix brand is work fine. So you probably need 2 or 3 of the 10 ounce chopped spinach from Publix. While I'm waiting for my spinach to defrost, I'm going to go ahead and slow cook the mushrooms. What I usually do is use a little of the coconut oil, put it in the pan, and just let it simmer for probably maybe around 3 to 5 minutes. You don't want to overcook it because this will be baked in the oven. So yes, I chopped up a lot of mushrooms because we love mushrooms. So I used that entire 20 ounce container of mushrooms, and now I'm going to go ahead and cook those slowly while I wait for my spinach to defrost. So now while I'm waiting for my spinach to defrost, I'm going to go ahead and start to slow cook the mushrooms. And I personally use a little coconut oil. Just put a little bit in the bottom of the pan, and you're going to cook the entire thing of mushrooms. Again, I use 20 ounces of mushrooms. It's a lot, but we love ours with a lot of mushrooms. So I will continue to chop, and I'm going to slow cook them, then set that aside while I wait for the spinach to defrost. So this is basically what your mushrooms look like cooked down. And again, we don't want to overcook them. So I'm cooking the second set of mushrooms here. And we cook them down for like maybe 3 to 5 minutes again. And then we set that aside. Okay, so what gives it a taste is the chicken broth. I also use the no-boil lasagna. It's just easier. Obviously you got to soak it, so I'm going to put a little hot water in this pan. I'm going to soak it for maybe like 5 minutes, and then I'll be ready to go. Okay, the tomato sauce I use crushed tomatoes, but you can also use the fire crushed tomatoes. I'm using 2 cans of any crushed tomatoes will work. Okay, so what I've done now, I've added the mushrooms and the spinach, and I'm just kind of cooking this down. You really need to season it to taste. So I always use like the Goya, Sazon Goya. Maybe 1 whole package is good. If you use seasoning salt or whatever seasoning to your taste is fine. But I use that. I also use my all-purpose seasoning. But you just, however, to your liking, just season that up and let it cook down for a bit, maybe another 10 minutes. You want to just cook it down. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I use just original Philadelphia cream cheese, and I'm going to go ahead and add that to my spinach and mushroom mixture. So I have some here. You don't really need to put this in a microwave. Some people do, but I don't. I'm going to go ahead and just add it in here and cook that up. So you're adding your cream cheese to the spinach and mushrooms. So you're going to add some chicken broth to this to give it some taste. This is how many ounces? This is a 14 ounce. So I would add probably half or a little over half. And you'll say, well, it's kind of soupy, but it's okay. It's fine. You just let that cook down a little bit. Add some chicken broth in that. So this is the mixture. This is what makes the lasagna. This is it. This is your spinach, mushrooms, chicken broth, and cream cheese. You can use any kind of chicken broth. I mean, this is Swanson's. You can use that, or you can use Progresso. Any type of chicken broth is fine. We're going to make the sauce that we're going to use for the lasagna. So we're going to use that famous coconut oil again, just a little bit. Just a tiny bit at the bottom of a saucepan. And I'm going to put some garlic, some minced garlic in the bottom of this pan. So you don't want to overcook it because it will cook fast. So I'm just moving this around. And I'm basically going to take, I don't want to use too much garlic, but Just a little bit of garlic, and it won't cook quick, so you want to just kind of do this so it won't burn. Take it off the heat if you want. A little bit more. Again, you're just going to put this at the bottom before you put in your tomato sauce. Not too much garlic. Smells great, but you don't want to put too much garlic in there. Okay, a little bit more. Let that cook down a little bit. Minced garlic, any type, any brand will do. And again, I am going to put in my crushed tomatoes. Again, I use any can of crushed tomatoes will work. So you don't have to worry about a certain brand that you have a particular brand you want to use. But I'm just using this brand now. It works fine. I bought it at BJ's. I bought a case of it almost a year ago, and I'm still using the same case to make lasagna. So it works out great to have a huge can of tomato paste. I'm sorry, crushed tomatoes. It's not tomato paste, it's crushed tomatoes. Sorry. Crushed tomatoes. You want to just let that, keep that on low. Now, I will add sugar to this. Although I don't like cooking with sugar, I put sugar in anything that's tomato based, of course, to kill the heartburn. So I will put a teaspoon or a tablespoon of sugar in this. And if those of you who get heartburn when you eat tomato sauce, if you always add a little bit of sugar to it, it will knock out the heartburn. And we cooked down our spinach, we added our mushrooms, we added our cream cheese to the mushroom and spinach mixture. We also added some chicken broth in there. We're going to go ahead and put it together. I always do 2 pans instead of one long lasagna pan, and that way I can freeze one or stack them in the refrigerator. It's a lot easier. And I'm going to use this mozzarella cheese. We do not use ricotta cheese in this. The only thing you're going to put this together with is mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, and your crushed tomato sauce. That's it. So that's the secret. There is no ricotta cheese in this. There's no different type of cheese. Only mozzarella cheese, your mixture, and your tomato sauce. Parmesan cheese. Okay, so here we go. Put this right here. Take this off. I'm going to show you how we start. And basically, like any other lasagna, your tomato sauce is what is going to cook the noodle. So you want to go ahead and put this on the pan first, like this. Put this on the pan to make sure that that noodle is cooked. Because I use the no boil noodles, you just got to soak them in water. We don't really have to do anything else to them. So we're going to go ahead and put this in here like this. They do get a little sticky, so sometimes you may have to wet it to get it off like this. It's very easy. It's easier than boiling them. And you're going to go ahead and put that here. Now, again, because of the fact that it is a noodle that must cook, you must always have your sauce on the noodle. So we're going to put that noodle on, put that sauce on the noodle again. So you have the sauce first on the pan, and then once you lay your first noodle down, you're going to your lasagna. I'm calling it a noodle, but it's actually a lasagna. You're going to go ahead and put this on again, like that. So that way it'll cook that. Now, the easiest way to get this mixture on your lasagna is to use a fork. It will not spread. You're going to have to kind of splatter it on here. It takes a while to do this. You're going to put the whole entire thing on here. And while I do this, I'll be right back. Okay. The way to get this on here is like I use a fork and I just kind of, this is the only real way to get it on here. So as you can see, I have the entire first layer of this, of your spinach and mushroom mixture on there. Now I'm going to take my mozzarella cheese and put that on there. Take the mozzarella cheese, break it up a little bit, and you just kind of lay it on here. this. Now, you're going to take your Parmesan cheese and you're just going to spray it. You're going to just put it all over. Not too much, but if I don't put a lot, my boys can taste it. It's different, so I do kind of put enough on here. Now you're going to start over again. Just going to put the noodle on there. Again, this is kind of sticky, but you can just peel it off, and it doesn't really matter if it broke up or not. Just put it on there. This on here like this. So you're doing your second layer now, and it's done the exact same way. As you get closer to the top layer, you want to make sure that you do have a lasagna, so you can break it up and put it on the corners, and you are starting over now. And this, again, of course, when you have the noodle, you need your sauce, and we're going to go ahead and do another layer, and I'll be right back. So I'm doing the last layer, which basically I'm just making sure everything's covered. And what I do for the top is I mix cream cheese and chicken broth. This is what's giving it that taste where everybody think that it's ricotta, and it's not ricotta cheese. This is cream cheese and chicken broth. So you just want to make it, it's going to be lumpy, and it's okay. You're going to go ahead and just mix this up. Oops, lost some. And you're going to put this, it's going to be very lumpy, but you're going to put this on the top like this. Put this on top. And you just put it on top like this. It will be a little lumpy, but that's okay. You're going to add some more mozzarella cheese. So you're going to cover, you're going to cover your lasagna with foil. So what I normally do, I use that famous coconut oil again, and I just kind of just use this because it will stick. So if you do this, it'll stop the cheese from sticking. And you just pretty much just cover it like this. You're going to bake this at 400 for about an hour. So for 1 hour, you're going to bake it at 400. I also save the rest of the sauce because sometimes I'll use it to put on top once it's done. And you can also freeze this. So if you wanted to bake one now and freeze the other one later, you can put this in the freezer and it'll bake the same when you take it out. So we're going to put the bake time on here for an hour. And when it come out, I'll show you exactly what to do with it, because you're also going to boil it for 3 minutes to get it baked on top, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so after an hour, this is what it's going to look like when you come out. So what you have to do now, I'm going to put the oven on broil on high, and then I'm going to stick it in the oven for 3 minutes. You have to make sure you take it out in about 3 minutes because it will burn. So you're just going to brown the top. So you wait 1 second, you'll see how it looks. So this is what it looks like once you take it out and you have broiled the top of it. It should look like that, and there's your lasagna.